Hello and welcome to Read Aloud Stories with Mrs. R. I'm Mrs. Rosenthal, but a lot of kids like to call me Mrs. R. Have you ever lost something? Did you need others to help you find it? Well, in the book I'm about to read, the main character, the person who the story is about, has lost something on a special day. It's the day that he and his parents will become American citizens. The title of the book is The American Way. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that way is spelled wrong. But it's not the word way. It's the name Way. The name of the title character is Wei Fong. The American Way by Marion Hess Pomeranc, illustrated by DyAnne DiSalvo Ryan. Read with permission by Albert Whitman and Company, with thanks to the author for signing my book. Wei Fong popped up in front of the hand-carved mirror, the one that had come all the way from China, just as he had. He touched his hair. He tugged at his suit. "Hurry, we'll be late," he called. Then he wiggled his tooth. It was very loose. He liked the way it felt as it rocked back and forth in his mouth. Wei smiled. "Today might be a double lucky day," he thought. "In 3 hours, I'll be an American citizen, and maybe, just maybe, I'll lose my tooth today too. Then the tooth fairy will visit me for the very first time." "I'm almost done," said Mama, poking her head out from the kitchen. "We'll have dim sum and hot dogs when we get back. I want everything just right." "Hurry, Papa," Wei said, running into his parents' bedroom. "Jefferson, Madison, Monroe," Papa was saying as he straightened his tie. "Papa, you took your test months ago," Wei said, but he knew his father was proud that he remembered every president's name. Finally, everyone was ready. The family dashed out the door. They flew down 4 flights of stairs. "Hasta luego," called Mrs. Ramos from the landing. "Good luck today," said Mr. Abramowitz as he walked into the building. "Mr. Abramowitz, could you take a picture of my family?" Papa asked. "I promised to send Great Uncle Bing in China pictures of this day." "Say pickled herring," said Mr. Abramowitz, snapping the shutter. Click, and they were on their way. "I think it's to the left," said Mama when they arrived downtown. She pointed toward a block filled with tall buildings and whizzing cars. "I think it's over there," said Papa, pointing the other way. "I know we'll be late now," said Wei, his tongue rocking the very wobbly tooth. The family ran left. They ran right. They ran all around the block. They found it, the federal courthouse. "One more picture," said Papa. People hurried into the building. Many were there to become citizens that day, too. "Where's Wei?" Mama suddenly asked, turning her head. Mama and Papa dashed back to the street. Papa looked behind a pretzel vendor's cart. Mama looked under a bench. "He's dead!" cried Mama, running toward the curb. Wei was on the ground. His nose was pointed down. "My son!" cried Papa. "My tooth!" cried Wei. "I lost it! Don't move!" Mama and Papa joined Wei on the ground. They ran their hands over the sidewalk. Their fingers followed trails of long cracks. No tooth. "We have to go," said Papa. "We'll miss the ceremony," said Mama. Wei began to cry. "I need my tooth for the tooth fairy," he said. Then Papa jumped up. "I found it!" Wei's tears got bigger. His sobs got louder. "That's a pebble," he wailed. What's your prediction? What I mean by that is, what do you think will happen next? Wei has lost his tooth, and Mama and Papa and he are late for the ceremony. What will happen next? What's your prediction? "¿Qué pasó?" asked a woman with a cane. Our son lost his tooth," Papa explained. The woman joined in the search. "Step aside, s'il vous plaît," warned a stout man. He waved Le Monde, his newspaper, to direct people around the tooth-seekers. Soon a family from Poland stopped to help, and a couple from Kenya, and a tall man from Trinidad, too. "You folks gotta get going," called a guard near the door. "Things are about to begin." The search for the tooth sped up. "Voilà," said the stout man. "La dent." The woman with the cane triumphantly held out something in her hand. "The tooth," said the tall man from Trinidad. "Zab," said the family from Poland. "Gino," said the couple from Kenya. "Jakuyashi," said Wei's parents. Wei wiped his eyes. "My tooth! Thank you," he said. The new friends cheered as Mama wrapped Wei's tooth in a tissue. Then everyone scrambled to the courthouse. They squished into an elevator and rode up 8 floors. Together, the group slipped through 2 big doors. "Step up, don't be shy," said a man wearing a badge with a star. He was a federal marshal. "You'll all be sworn in citizens soon." Mama, Papa, and Wei slid down a long wooden bench. "I've got a lot of people here," said the marshal to Mama. "Move down, ma'am. There's always room for one more." With a quick wiggle, Mama got closer to the woman from Kenya. Wei waited patiently as the grown-ups walked up to a clerk to sign their certificates of naturalization. "I've got something for you," said Mama when she returned. She gave Wei a large white envelope. Inside was a letter from the President of the United States. Then the room grew quiet. Hear ye, said the clerk. "All rise." A woman wearing a long black robe walked in and sat down at the front of the room. "That's the judge," said Papa. "Be seated," said the clerk. "This is a special day. Welcome," said the judge. "May I have my tooth?" whispered Wei to Mama. Wei held his tooth carefully. It was so small. He listened as the judge talked about becoming an American citizen. He saw the marshal open the doors so friends and relatives could watch and listen too. Suddenly, Mama poked Wei. "Stand up," she whispered. "It's time to take the oath of allegiance." I hereby declare on oath, the people from many lands said together, as they promised loyalty to their new nation, and when they were done, they were citizens of the United States. Now the friends and relatives rose too. They placed their hands over their hearts to join the new Americans in the Pledge of Allegiance, with liberty and justice for all. The voices rang out. Then everyone sang the Star-Spangled Banner. Some people clapped, others cried. Wei kissed Papa and Mama. He felt a tear on Mama's cheek. Wei opened the hand that had been over his heart. He smiled at his tooth. "One more picture, please," said Papa. That afternoon, Wei's family and their friends feasted on dim sum and hot dogs. Everything was just right. When nighttime came, Wei stuck his letter from the president on his wall and slipped into bed. He carefully placed his tooth under his pillow. "Will the tooth fairy know I'm an American citizen now?" he wondered as he fell asleep. And she did. About naturalization. Every year, thousands of immigrants become new citizens of the United States in a process called naturalization. Though most Americans are automatically citizens by birth, our naturalized citizens were born in other countries and moved to the United States by choice. Before they are naturalized, all citizens-to-be must meet many requirements. First, they have to receive permission to move to the United States permanently. Then they must live here for at least 5 years. After this time, they may apply for naturalization. If their application is approved, the next step is to take an examination. They must prove they can speak, read, and write English, and show a knowledge of our history and government. For kids, it's easier. Children under 18 become citizens along with their parents. Soon after they pass the examination, the citizens-to-be are invited to a naturalization ceremony. This can take place in front of a judge or before an officer of the U.S. Immigration and Naturalization Service. At the ceremony, the applicants must take the oath of allegiance. Raising their right hands, they swear to give up any loyalty to a foreign country and to support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States. Then they are citizens. At many naturalization ceremonies, the new Americans pledge allegiance to the flag and sing the national anthem in celebration. For this is the day the naturalized citizens, like millions of immigrants before them, are given the same rights, privileges, and responsibilities as every other U.S. citizen, except that they may not become president or vice president. The United States is now their home country. That's the American way. Was your prediction correct? I'm so glad Wei found his tooth with the help of the other immigrants. An immigrant is someone who moves to the United States from another country. Did you know that we're a country of immigrants? Unless you're Native American, someone in your family moved to the United States from another country. For me, it was my grandparents. For some others, it's their great-great-great-great-grandparents, or their parents, or them, like Wei. Who came over from another country in your family? When did they come here? Why? Where did they come from? This would be a great discussion to have with your family. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching The American Way at Read Aloud Stories with Mrs. R. Until next time, don't forget to read.